UN Ambassador Susan Rice takes herself out of the running to replace Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. ABC's Jake Tapper is tracking all the latest of this from the White House. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning, George. White House officials say they're angry about the unfair way Susan Rice was treated by Republicans on the Hill. That said, sources say President Obama was heading in a different direction for his Secretary of State pick anyway.
With signals from Republicans that hers would be a bruising confirmation battle, and from the White House that the president thought Senator John Kerry might be a better choice, overnight, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations rolled out her withdrawal campaign.
I didn't want to see a confirmation process that was very prolonged, very politicized, very distracting, and very disruptive.
On NBC and in a Washington Post op-ed, Susan Rice said a partisan battle was the last thing the country needs. Late Thursday, President Obama reaffirmed his confidence in her to a California TV station.
She's done an outstanding job. I could not be prouder with her. She will continue to be one of the top members of my national security team.
Rice had become the designated Obama administration target for Republicans seeking answers and/or political advantage relating to the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2012, on the diplomatic compound in Benghazi, Libya.
In fact, what this began as was a spontaneous, not a premeditated response.
5 days after those attacks, Rice went on the Sunday shows repeating talking points from the intelligence community that critics said downplayed the terrorist attack in the weeks leading up to the election.
I didn't mislead. I didn't misrepresent. I did the best with the information that the United States government had at the time.
Democrats point out that Republicans didn't have such a difficult time with a different national security advisor named Rice, who had different inaccurate talking points from the intelligence community. Of course, that was Condoleezza Rice talking about Iraqi weapons of mass destruction that did not exist. That was a different time. George?
Yes, it was, Jake. Okay, thanks very much. Let's get more on this now from our senior foreign affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz. And Martha Raddatz now in line to be named Secretary of State, Senator John Kerry from Massachusetts. He's likely to be easily confirmed, has a lot of relationships around the world, but this is still a painful personal retreat for both the president and Ambassador Rice.
Well, it's true, George. You know, they're very different kinds of choices, very different kinds of style. Kerry's safe, low-key, even-keeled, and has lots of experience. Susan Rice has lots of experience in foreign affairs, of course, but she really is far more combative and in-your-face. She was seen as a riskier choice, and right now the president does not want to battle over people. He'll battle over policy, but not people.
And that's what the ambassador said as well. That's why she pulled herself out. Meanwhile, we're seeing the challenges continue to mount for the president overseas, especially in Syria, that crisis continuing to escalate. And we learned overnight the United States will be sending more firepower to the region.
They will indeed. 2 Patriot missile batteries to prevent rounds from crossing the border from Syria to Turkey. That has happened in the past, but this is really a symbolic show of force to signal support of Turkey and to put more pressure on Syria. But it does require about 400 troops to operate those systems. That will take a little while to get there, George.